Follow me to my favorite tree. Well, I'm offering a steady hand. I could be your security. There's no guarantee on anything. And I'll take care of you along the way. My love, one day at a time, will leave our troubles behind.
Hello. On this up-and-coming episode of Sauna Talks with Storm Carroll, I decided not to have my shirt on for this intro because we're going to be talking gym. I got the owners of my gym coming down to spend some time with me, have a steamer, maybe have a cold plunge, and talk about getting ripped and getting in shape and how to eat properly and how to... Mainly, they think they're coming to talk about muscles, which, we're going to talk about. But I want to know how they do it, how they set a routine, stick with it, and they have children. So, that's like one of the hardest barriers to find time for yourself. So I'm hoping to pick apart what they have created and create a routine for myself. So, welcome to Sauna Talks with Storm Carroll. And this one's called Getting Buff. Stay tuned.
One day at a time, we'll leave our troubles behind.
Sounds great. Good sound. All right. Welcome back to another episode of Sauna Talks. And today we have Charis and Ashley, local gym owners. For how many years have you guys been gym owners?
Since 2007.
Very cool.
Yes.
And what's the name of your gym?
North Coast Health and Fitness, or North Coast Exercise Therapy and Rehabilitation Center.
Beautiful. And tell us about yourself. Where are you guys from?
We're both born and raised in Terrace, BC.
Very cool.
Local,
Yeah, just kind of a hobby of mine for many years is training. That was I had an opportunity to buy the gym that we're in right now in 2007 and kind of took advantage of that. And it was it's kind of turned into what we built it now. Like it's been a long effort, but yeah, like what you see now is kind of like what we built. But it's originally we bought the gym, there wasn't a whole lot going on. There was like barbells and dumbbells and old benches, and it's
yeah.
It's one of those things that took us like the first 8 years to kind of probably get the place up and running and just like up to like where we could like see some light at the end of the tunnel.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How long was that place a gym before you bought it? That's just some Terrace history.
Yeah, I'd say.
Yeah, quite a while.
I think there's been a gym there since like the late 90s.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
So like probably 96, 97.
Yeah.
And then we took over on 07. And then,
It used to be in a different location prior to, like, in 1996 or something.
Yeah.
So it's been around.
Okay. Yeah. We're probably the longest owners
Yeah.
of any gym in Terrace. I'd say, like, even just that's like our sole source of income too. So we've managed to turn it into like a full-time job and hobby, and with the personal training and all the other side things we do with the gym and stuff. Yeah.
How long have you guys been married for?
Well, we've been together for 25 years. Well, 24 years this year, but we've only been married for 12.
Yeah.
We did things backwards.
Yeah.
That happens. It seems like pretty common.
Yeah.
And did you meet at the gym?
No, actually, when we first were dating, I was only 15. And I was into soccer and stuff like that. But the gym intimidated me. It was a scary place. And he had all his workout buddies and stuff like that. And that was what he kind of did. So it took me probably about 4 years until I finally got up the courage to get a gym membership and set foot in the gym.
And then how long have you been working out for?
Kind of August 93, I kind of like started going to the gym. That was kind of like
So how many years is that? 30?
yeah, it used to be 30 years. 30
Yeah.
years now, yeah, but it's,
What like grade would that be?
I guess the summer of grade 7, going into grade 8.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
Big
it's just
head start.
Yeah, so it's just yeah, like most young people, maybe I didn't have the most confidence in myself, and I didn't play any sports either, right? So it was you know, my parents lived quite a ways out of town, so the gym was kind of like kind of something like I seen some progression in that, and I just, you know, you see a little bit of progress, and you know, 5% here, 5% here, it turns into, you know, a bigger number down the road. It was yeah, just some of the people I met through the gym, like I had a lot of job opportunities, like came from the gym. Like I would meet employers in the gym when I was younger, right?
Small town.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
Cross paths with lots of different.
yeah, you know, you're at the gym every Friday at 7 a.m. and there's someone there as well, and you start chatting with them, and it turns into you know, as you get older, just like job offers and, you know, whatnot.
Yeah,
So yeah,
totally.
no.
So I think we'll talk about how to get jacked later on in the interviews, but my biggest reason for asking you guys to come on the show is like you seem to have the fitness dialed, and you have children,
Yeah.
and so I think like for anyone that's probably in my shoes, the hardest thing is like how do you, like a big thing for me is like I'll get into a routine and then like a kid gets sick and
Yeah.
then I'm like down on myself, and I'm trying not to be, but I'm just like, oh man.
Yeah.
But like how over the years have you guys like just built this into your life so flawlessly now? It seems, I'm sure it
Yeah.
was a large work in progress.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was definitely a work in progress. It was never like, even when we look back like 10 years ago, what we did, I mean, we just slowly would adapt things. Like if it was just, you know, 10 years ago, I'd try to make like all these meals at once and have all these meals ready to eat. Whereas now I'm more like, well, that takes a lot of time and I don't have time for that. So we always just make sure we have like a pot of rice cooked, chicken cooked. If I'm cooking chicken, I'm cooking 2 packs of chicken. You know, if I'm cooking beef, I'm making 12 burgers for 3 of us, right? And just having stuff ready, so you're not like opening up a package of something or a bag of chips or, and a lot of times we tell people too, if it's not there, you're probably not going to go buy it.
Yeah.
You know, if you're going to have an event like birthday coming up, of course you're going to have something, but just trying to get in that routine of always having like healthier food options and making it like routine. If you always want to work out, say Monday, Wednesday, Friday. You know, if you don't go on Friday, we'll go on Saturday. Like, try to just make up for it, right? If you can.
So you do like a big grocery shop then?
No, I pretty much do. I'm at the grocery store pretty much a couple days a week, and I grab what's on sale. Especially if it's something we eat all the time, right? Like, I buy the big bag of oatmeal from Save-On because I don't want to go to the grocery store and buy oatmeal every 3 days. But yeah, like produce and stuff like that, I'm pretty much at the store every couple days, and just because I don't have a garden.
Yeah. That's very,
So, and then we kind of eat the same thing in the volume, right? Like, we eat a lot of peppers, and like, I'm not going to be growing that many peppers, right? We don't eat a lot of like your typical tomatoes and carrots and stuff like that a normal, typical household would eat, right?
Yeah.
And then like in terms of the gym, all I could think is that morning, for people with crazy lives, is early morning the best time? Or is it just kind of like whenever you can? Like,
whenever you can, make it work with your schedule,
Okay.
right? Like some people will say, I want to work out 7 days a week. Well, they might be able to do that for like 3 weeks.
Right.
But if they maybe could only stick to the gym twice a week, but they could longevity do that, I would suggest doing that versus trying to do 7 days a week.
Right.
Yeah.
And the timing doesn't really, whenever works for
like,
you.
Even when I was younger and maybe trying to be competitive in bodybuilding, you know, I would
Yeah, there's extremes to it.
yeah,
Right?
like there might be a 20-week period where I would adhere to this plan, but after that I would be a little bit more okay. I get caught up in other things after that 20-week period, right? Like so you might have like a certain times a year where maybe I would only compete every second year because of that.
Okay.
So okay, in 2011 I'm going to compete, and then 2013 I'll compete again, but it wasn't like a
Compete in like bodybuilding and stuff.
yeah. So when I was trying to like you know pursue that, and it was and I would have to work out at like maybe
Whenever you could, yeah.
maybe like 6 a.m. some mornings. It wasn't my favorite time, but it'd be like, hey, maybe I got to be up at 4 and be prepared to start working at 6. I got to be with the client at 8 a.m. Right? Or like,
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was.
You just, you'd really just have to adapt to what's going to work with your schedule.
Yeah, just like certain workouts. Like, okay, if I'm doing legs, I know it's going to take maybe half an hour longer than another workout. So maybe I would put that workout on a day where I know I'll have a bit more time. Maybe on a Saturday morning. Okay, I have a bit more time on Saturday morning. I can get that done. But then you're not rushing through that, or if you're running a bit late, and it's those type of things. Yeah.
I appreciate your gym for the advice, because the internet is, maybe you guys could speak about that, but the internet is just, and I'm assuming that's the first place anyone goes when they want to get into fitness, and there's just so much stuff out there, and it seems like they're all not trash talking one another, but like somebody will say this is great, and then other people are like no. So how does somebody manage figuring out what to do, I guess, or you know what I mean? Like, how do you know?
I say basically just you have to try yourself, and what's I always tell, like, even my clients, I always tell them, what works for you isn't going to work for the next person.
Right.
So you have to figure out what's going to work for you and what's going to work with your schedule. If it's half an hour workouts a couple days a week, or it's 2 hour workouts once a week. If you have a busy job and you're up on your feet all the time, you might not have to do a lot of extra cardio.
Right.
Whereas if you have a sit down office job, you might have to, right? Just for longevity and energy and.
So what do both your routines look like?
Well, my routine has kind of migrated more to his routine over the last. It kind of just went that way because, of course, when we first bought the gym in 2007, I was also working as a nurse as well on top of that. So my workout schedule was kind of whenever I could just fit it in.
Okay.
Some weeks I might only be at the gym 2 days a week, maybe 3. And then after that, when we had our daughter in 2011, again, the dynamics changed. So I could only work out, if he was home. And I mean, I might work out once, twice, 3 times a week, just depended on everybody's schedule. And then once our daughter grew up a little bit more and was in daycare and had a schedule, I had a bit more prediction in my schedule, so I could make it work. Okay, she's in daycare for this time, I can get my workout done. I'm off at 3, and then I can pick her up at 4:30, right? So but now I'm basically, I do like a 4-day a week split. And I'm in the gym for about an hour and a half ish.
Is split mean like cardio weights?
No, so split meaning like I'll do, I don't know how much detail you want, but I'll go into like, for me, because I did compete in competitive like figure and women's physique. 10 years ago was my last show, but I basically, now I'm trying to just overall stay strong, build my physique in a way that for longevity, I'm not going to be losing muscle mass as I'm getting older. So I do like 2 different leg days in the week. One's more hamstring isolated and glute isolated, and the other one's more of your typical leg day. And then I'll do like shoulders with arms and back and with the other part of the arms. So I split it all up. So in the week I'm working my whole body, but not not 7 days a week or anything like that. And then for his,
what are you up to?
Yeah, I still kind of follow like a typical bodybuilding split. Like, so I'll have like my dedicated leg day where that's quads and hamstrings, and like a push day, what I call like chest and triceps. And then usually that's like Saturday, Sunday I'll train. Those are usually 2 days a week. I know I have maybe some more time for those workouts. Mondays are typically busy with work stuff, and then Tuesday we'll do like a pull day, which is like back and biceps, and Wednesday we'll just do shoulders. Then Thursday, Fridays are our rest days as well. So it's so we'll get caught up with work stuff on those days, and we'll be in the gym every day, but it's but usually
workout after work.
Yeah, usually my Tuesday, Wednesday workouts are a little bit shorter than my Saturday, Sunday workouts.
Gotcha.
So I'll try to just situate the week. Okay, well, if I'm, I can get caught up on stuff. Okay, I know I have a 90-minute window here. Okay, I'll train from 4 till 5:30 or something like that. Yeah, no.
Do you guys have any rules about like on the fasting side of things? Like, or is there a time of day where you stop eating? Is there?
No, we pretty much follow like he usually eats like 6 times a day. I'm usually about 5. We don't eat your typical breakfast, lunch, and dinner. We kind of like meal 1, meal 2, meal 3.
Wow.
And they're not like filling meal. I mean, okay, they're filling in a sense that you're eating every couple hours, but they're not. I'm not sitting down at like dinner time and having like a big plate of spaghetti or something where I'm bursting and then I can't eat anything.
Right.
I'll make, like last night I made regular hamburgers, right?
Nice.
Make burgers. I'll have that, but we'll just have a burger and a bun. I'm not
Okay.
having French fries and like salads and all this other stuff going on. It's just like something simple but tastes good.
Okay.
Whereas he might have the burger patty with like rice and vegetables.
Yeah. Okay.
So he'll maybe more volume, right? Whereas I like the bun, so
Nice.
but he will too sometimes too,
Yeah,
right?
Do you ever double up on the patties?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it's
We weigh out all our food too, like even our like the patties when I'm making them, we weigh them to be like 6 ounces. So at least
Oh,
you
nice.
approximately know, okay, if I cooked it, it's gonna be about 5 ounces
yeah.
Cool.
cooked meat.
And so you guys are strict weighing everything?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
it's a habit that's just kind of we've
Clearly
both
worked.
just
Yeah.
consistently, and it's not necessarily like I want to eat a little amount. I want to make sure I'm eating enough, right?
Right.
Like I don't want to eat, a sprinkle of oatmeal and then 5 hours later a whole bag of Oreos. I'd
Yeah.
rather eat a big bowl of oatmeal and then I'm good till my next meal. And I don't.
Yeah.
The Oreos might be there, but I'm like, oh, I'm good. Like I'll wait. I don't need those today, right? Because when you have those blood sugar drops, you're more likely to reach for something instant.
Right.
A lot of stuff we eat daily is kind of like repetitive. It's kind of like
Very, yeah.
like I've been eating the same breakfast for probably like 7 years.
What's your breakfast?
I ate 2 whole eggs, a cup,
Okay.
cup and a half of egg whites, a banana with 20 grams of almond butter, and then I buy this bread, Silver Hills bread, the squirrely bread.
Okay.
I also have 4 pieces of that, so it's
Every day.
Every day.
Yeah.
so whether I'm like
Yeah.
out of town or camping or
Yeah.
whatever, I always bring those ingredients with me and just
Yeah.
I like
and
that.
it's super easy. It takes about maybe 7.5 minutes to make that.
Yeah, if that. And it's hot. It's good.
Yeah, yeah,
We don't like years ago when we'd be say competing, we would prep a lot of stuff ahead of time. You just eat it cold. Well, that's not very enjoyable. When you're doing it for like a short term, you can do it, or say you're going out of town for a few days and you weren't gonna have a stove.
Yeah.
Sure, but when you're at home, it's just nice to have a nice good breakfast.
Yeah. I even if I'm in a hotel, I'll bring a skillet with me.
Yeah.
Or,
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
just like a
We don't pack light.
You got it dialed.
yeah. So it's just
Yeah.
this is little things that like it's like okay, or it's it just makes it easier to follow some sort of routine where you're
Yeah.
you're not like even if I know I'm going to be away from the gym for 5 days, okay, I'll be back Sunday night, so maybe I'll train at 8 p.m. that night. It's not the ideal time, but it's okay. I'll make it work. I'll follow my food plan and just try to get back in the routine because maybe Monday I've got something going on. I can't work out that day, so I'll trying to just keep the momentum built up. And it's well, once you've been doing something for a while too, it's
Second nature.
it's harder to stop that habit too, right?
Yeah.
It's like when we talk about the same breakfast. Like maybe if I only ate that for a month or two, it'd be harder to adhere to it. But after you just it's like, oh, I like the energy I get from that.
Yeah.
It's
You know.
predictable. You're
Yeah,
not
yeah,
starving
yeah,
an
yeah.
hour later.
Yeah, and just little things like as you get older, maybe you're more aware of your blood pressure and your blood sugars, and I just noticed like eating like literally eating the same thing every day. Your blood pressure is very predictable. It's always the same. Your blood sugars are very predictable. They're always the same. It's not you're getting these peaks and valleys where you're like, maybe overeating at the end of the night because you didn't eat enough during the day or
Yeah.
those types of things. Yeah.
I think when some people think I'm crazy when I say this, but like I've noticed a difference in my children who try to give them eggs every morning. It's like the number one thing on the menu.
Yeah.
But obviously,
And you
Yes.
don't have chickens.
and we don't have chickens yet. That's gonna happen.
Okay, yeah.
But we are like, I notice when they just have eggs and toast, they are different. Especially our oldest, he is a different kid.
Mm-hmm.
Like the sugars in pretty much everything else you buy.
Yeah,
Cereal, all
comes
that stuff. Yeah.
Like it's wild how much
Yeah.
sugar is in
Yeah,
all that stuff.
it is. It
Yeah,
is.
And I just noticed he's like calm and he's like,
Mm-hmm.
we have better conversations.
Yeah.
Definitely.
It's egg, and he loves eggs, which is
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
But every once in a while,
Yeah, those are a staple in our house for sure.
eggs. How many eggs you guys
Definitely.
like cartons you go through?
Oh gosh, I don't know. A lot.
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's awesome that we have a local egg farm in town.
Yeah.
man.
Yeah. Of
Yeah.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let's go have another steamer and we'll talk shop.
Okay.
Absolutely. No worries. Thanks. Yeah. No.
I'm still new to this whole
Oh, yeah, yeah.
podcast flow thing. Round 2, Sauna Talks. How you guys feeling?
Good.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah,
Very good.
yeah, no.
When was the last time you both had a sauna?
I don't know. Probably a few years ago.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
been a while. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, especially something like this that's got the heat and that.
Yeah.
It's
Yes.
A little bit different than the infrared?
yeah, 100%.
Yes.
Yeah, game changer for sure.
Very
no, no.
unique.
Definitely a game changer.
Yeah.
So let's talk about in terms of longevity now. Muscle mass is huge, and that's kind of what a lot of people are striving for these days. What are, from both of you, what are some pointers for someone getting into like weight training where you're not gonna, destroy your body at first? Like, how does somebody that's never weight trained their whole life kind of ease into the practice?
Yeah. The big thing I always tell people is set some achievable goals, right? Where you're able to, see, let's say your end goal is over here's, do like 1/4 of that. And then,
Okay.
try to reach that goal and get your body adapted to that. Different work capacity and just like, whether it's even something as simple as holding a 5-minute bodyweight plank, right?
Right.
Like where you don't stop. Like, and it's, that's sometimes, a lot of times I'll see people do that in about 12 weeks. After 12 weeks of like weight training, they can hold a 5-minute plank. Whereas before they were maybe doing a 1-minute plank.
Yeah. And shaking.
Yeah. And just those little things where they, notice their confidence go up and then they're, once you make a bit of progress, it's, as long as you keep moving, it's not going to go anywhere, right? As you get a little stronger and, it might be slower progress, but you're still working towards something. And just pick some things that you're good at.
Okay.
And then pick some things that you're not good at, right? So that's all I'll say. Okay, well, these 4 exercises you're good at.
Yeah.
These 4 over here you're not so good at, and just try to chip away at that. From almost like a game of inches, right?
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna try to like gain an inch on this one today. Gain an inch on that one. It's
Even a couple extra reps on something.
yeah.
or Maybe your form feels better.
And like a lot of times people benefit from like, let's say, 8 to 30 repetitions on lots of things. So you're probably gonna notice, like, even if you're lifting the same weight, but you're able to get that for 25 reps now, whereas before you can only do it for 15. You've probably added, let's say, 200 grams of muscle
Okay.
to your shoulders, which doesn't sound like a lot, but it's over time it's gonna like yield a positive return, and your overall wellness and just like your even sense of well-being, and just like maybe you're sleeping better now that you're exercising harder.
Yeah, definitely.
De-stresses you and makes you feel good just to like kind of chase that dopamine rush, I would say too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No.
My goal, like, I'm pretty confident in my legs, so I do enjoy leg day, even though it sucks. But I think my goal is to do chin-ups.
Yeah. No.
And so what would you... I do like the machine in the gym where I can counterweight myself.
Yeah.
Because I can't even come close to
Yeah.
the weakest, like, shoulders or arms. So do you think that's like a attainable... Not attainable leg. Is that like a basic goal for somebody?
Yeah,
Definitely.
totally. Yeah.
Yeah. And I would say if that's what you want to start with, I'd say starting with the assisted one to start with, and then working your way up. So if you're taking 100 pounds off your body weight, and then eventually you're starting with taking 70, 50, going down from there.
Okay.
That's a progress you'll see.
And even like with a chin-up, you can, let's say you want to start adding in some actual bodyweight chin-ups, use a step stool and maybe just focus on the eccentric portion, right? So don't worry about pulling yourself to a bar, but do a 4-count negative. So you're lowering yourself with a 4-count negative, right?
I have no idea what that means.
Yeah. So let's say I stood on a box where I could pull myself to the bar with supine or overhand grip, and just count the 4 and just lower yourself with a 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hit your feet on the box.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So you're just training the lowering portion of the chin.
Oh, man. I never thought about that.
So let's say you do that 5 or 6 times, 3 days a week, right? And then maybe 4 weeks there you can do 3 bodyweight chin-ups now, because you have a lot of times our tendons, ligaments help us on the concentric, but our muscles kind of help us more on the eccentric. That's why we tend to like shake more when we're lowering into a squat.
Okay.
Or if you're doing, let's say you can do 3 chin-ups, and your third one you feel really tired, but you're still able to do it because you're shaking. It's usually the lowering portion we're going to shake on that movement, right? It's not the way up, right? So it's and just little cues like that where you can kind of chip away at that, and maybe your body weight's still the same, but your lean body mass has increased now, right? So you might still be
Your overall strength.
yeah.
increased.
No.
And then, okay, so somebody decides they're going to get a membership. They're going to start weight training. Should everyone be heavily stretching before? Should they be crushing water? What are just some, like...
I always
tips to
I always
hit the
tell
gym?
people to make sure, obviously, be hydrated, but make sure you're eating enough.
Okay.
Because a lot of times when people start a new exercise routine, they think they need to eat really little, and then you burn out really fast, and you get, you don't have recovery, and then you're maybe overeating the stuff that you didn't want to eat. So eating enough like real food before you exercise, and having something that digests well, so it's not like saucy or spicy. Something like oatmeal or rice, some kind of protein source. Eggs are great. Stuff like that, just so that you're coming to the gym and you're fueled, you're hydrated, you have that energy, you slept well. And kind of looking at your watch, okay, I'm starting my workout now, giving yourself a bit of a timeline. Okay, I want to work out for an hour, right? Because obviously the gym's a social thing as well, so it's great to talk to people. But if you've been there for 2 hours and you feel like you haven't even exercised because you've been talking, that's not going to really benefit you. It's great to socialize, but I always try to kind of give myself a timeline, like hour and a half. I want to be done my workout from start to finish, and I always start with a little bit of stretching, and then working and then start working the muscles that I'm intending to work that day. Like if I was doing back and I want to do pull-ups, I'll start maybe on the assisted, right? Making it quite easy to start so I can warm up those muscles more.
Okay. You have any tips?
Yeah, just salt too. I'd say like salt's a big one for people that are going to be exercising. Like it's
Yeah, eating enough salt.
yeah, like obviously not like
McDonald's.
yeah, an excessive,
No,
excessive
yeah,
amount,
not
but-
McDonald's, no.
But yeah, you might be putting 3 grams of salt in your water. Let's say you have a 1 liter water bottle. You might add 3 grams of salt to that. You might notice that's a big performance increaser for a lot of people, right? Most of us are walking around a little dehydrated most of the day, right? Because we're in, let's say, air-conditioned cars or in buildings, right? And, let's say you're going to go train your legs, especially where you're going to like use a lot of oxygen, right? You might notice you have a bit better workout if you've had a liter of water and 3 grams of salt. Like something as simple as that, right?
Yeah.
You just repeat that every workout day. You might notice, that might be your pre-workout, right? Just like hydration, sodium, just like
Okay.
salt. Even like one ingredient foods. That's what we always mean by rice and eggs or.
Greg Linton said to stick to the outside of the grocery store.
Yeah.
So don't even go
Definitely.
in the middle of the
Yeah,
grocery store.
yeah,
Super
definitely.
funny how that's just
Yeah, I know.
It's it's very true. Yeah, yeah. We do eat a lot of like rice cakes and stuff like that, and those are in the center aisles. But I get those, and I don't venture off too far from those. Those are a staple in our household.
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
They're just easy. They digest well.
Our children like those.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, rice cakes, crispy minis.
I noticed in all the videos you guys have headphones on. So what do you both listen to? What's the tunes you guys are rocking?
Well, in the gym we usually play like classic rock in the morning and stuff like that. At nighttime, more like heavier rock. But like I generally listen to like more upbeat kind of music, whereas I think he's probably more the rock.
Yeah, it depends on the training. Like it's even some stuff like Rocky Eye of the Tiger. I've listened to that for some.
It's the best one.
Yeah.
It really is the best one.
Some of those like those sets where I know I'm going to be there for. Let's say I'm doing a hard set of squats where I know I'm going to be squatting for the next 3 minutes. I might listen to something like that,
Yeah,
right?
something just not like nothing too crazy.
But yeah, I like AC/DC, Metallica,
Yeah.
some of the 90s like Linkin Park and that kind of stuff.
If the gym's got good tunes on at nighttime, usually don't even listen to headphones.
Yeah.
Jim always has good tunes.
Yeah,
I know.
we try. We try. That's a big thing. We'll be like working out and we have staff working and we'll notice a song come on and I'm like, I might text them, can you change that please? Like we're very aware of what's being played and the atmosphere of the place too.
All right, well, let's go have our last round of sauna.
Yeah.
And we'll come back and talk more about our muscles after.
Yeah, man, sounds good. You bet.
Cool. What a beauty day for a
Oh man, it is. Yeah. Yeah.
All right, round 3 of Sauna Talks. How are you enjoying your sauna?
Oh, it's awesome. Yeah.
Pretty nice feeling.
Yeah.
Do you think it's good for your muscles?
Yeah.
Definitely.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Definitely. Good for everything. Your pores, muscles,
Yeah.
your joints, tendons.
Yeah, I think
For
like
sure.
even some of the injuries I have, I can definitely feel like the nightest things feel better.
Yeah.
What do you guys do for recovery? What's your favorite thing?
We have a hot tub at the house.
Nice.
Yeah.
So we use that quite often.
Yeah, I just like massage therapy.
Yeah.
Yeah, just doing like cardio. Like I'd say on a day I'm not gonna lift weights. I'll maybe hop on the bike and do like 5 miles on the bike before I head to work in the morning, like just like a stationary bike, right? Just get the
cool.
just kind of spin the legs out, right? Just like it's
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of like, you know, when you're trying to like build muscle or retain muscle you already have, like kind of like that saying like motion is lotion too, right?
Okay,
So
keep moving.
Yeah, so if you kind of just keep moving, like on days
especially if you're sore.
yeah, let's say you're a little
Yeah.
stiff after squatting, maybe before you don't have to like do anything outrageous, but yeah, go for a walk or do some cardio. Keep
Yeah.
moving, right? Get those steps in throughout the day right now.
Yeah.
What's it? It's crossing my mind right now, but what's it called when you're just body weight training? Calisthenics.
Yeah. No.
Is there like, would it be smart for somebody to start there before weight training, or is there pros and cons of both of those?
Well, you can incorporate a little bit of both, right? Especially
Okay.
if you're starting out, like the body
Right.
weight planks and stuff
Yeah,
like that.
yeah,
But the good thing about when you can weight train like properly is you can use, 10, 20 pounds. You don't have to use your whole body weight, right?
Smart.
So
yeah, never thought about that.
yeah, like we have some equipment that's easier on the joints. Like if you're doing, say, a squat, you're now using your whole body weight, right? And if you're not sure your form properly, whereas you could use a machine where you're more like, you don't have gravity, right? So if you want to just use 40 pounds, you can use 40 pounds.
Okay.
Yeah. And just little things where you can kind of like, even the topic about trying to get good at pull-ups, like sometimes like just building your posterior chain, it's helpful to have something where you have a chest support. So let's say your chest is supported on a pad and you're able to pull your elbows back, like that's
Yeah.
Okay.
going to eventually like, carry over to like helping you do a bodyweight pull-up more.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
if you're, straight, it's kind of the muscles that we can't see that we lie on, let's say when we're sleeping. Those are the muscles that are going to like help with our posture and like you getting better at doing squats. We think about the quads in the front of our legs and, things like that. But yeah, a lot of times it's your glutes, hamstrings, lower back, that's going to really stabilize that movement and make it feel more uniform. So it's like you're not questioning if it feels good. It just feels natural for you just to like,
Yeah.
progress to those. And you're not worried about like, failing so much. Cause you're like, yeah, those 15 I felt harder 3 months ago.
Right.
I'm still doing 15, but they're feeling progressively easier, and it's just that stuff where you.
That does make sense.
Yeah. So you might still be lifting, let's say, 185-pound squat 15 times, but your progression is it's kind of similar to saying the sauna. Like you just get used to the heat, and you kind of get acclimated to what 185 feels like on your back.
Okay.
It's so to a new person that might seem like, oh, this is really hard to do for 15, but you've been doing it for 3 months already, so you've already had that.
Yeah, you got lots of practice.
Yeah, and just like you've done the reps and you've adapted to the cadence of their breathing maybe more, and just like you're not so anxious maybe.
Okay.
Like when you're getting out of breath, right? Those types of things.
Yeah.
Should you be going into weight training like trying to be as calm, or like should you be hyped up, or does it depend on what you're doing? I guess.
Yeah, I guess it depends on what you're doing. I think a level of calmness is definitely good, because sometimes when people get too overly excited, then that's when they end up hurting themselves because
Right.
they maybe try to do too much too soon. But you definitely don't want to be, it's always nice to have like a cup of coffee or something before you go to the gym, so you have a little bit more extra energy. So you're not like, I don't really feel like this today.
Yeah,
It's better to, have a little bit more energy in you. And
Yeah. Kind of like it's. Like obviously coffee's a bit of a diuretic, but if you have like lots of water, lots of salt,
yeah,
not lots of protein, but just a consistent amount every day, right? So let's say you're a 200-pound male, maybe you're eating a pound of protein per pound of body weight, roughly, right?
Yeah.
So throughout the day you had 200 grams of protein, right?
yeah,
Which is pretty easy for most people to attain. Then you're kind of just able to stick to that repetitively, and okay, I'm gonna have a X amount of coffee every time before I train.
Gotcha.
And that gives me like a good boost for that
yeah.
75, 90 minutes. And then, I can kind of have some energy to get through the workout, and you can see some progression there. And and as you get better at things, you start to like, and even myself, I was like, oh, how much further can I push myself into that set, right? Or like,
Yeah.
it's
I'm a bit of a gym dum-dum, and so when I got the protein off you guys,
yeah.
I thought protein shake meant like I make a shake every time.
Yeah.
Like make an actual milkshake.
Yeah.
I didn't know till like very recently. Embarrassingly enough, very recently that I could just put that in water and shake it up.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it tastes good.
Yeah.
I was like making a shake each time. I wasn't into it. We got barrelware on set, so.
Oh, that's good. No. Yeah, no.
But yeah, no, you can utilize protein powder. Like we never drink a protein shake. Usually we have it with our oatmeal or
Right,
cream
I
of
noticed that,
rice
yeah.
or cream of wheat or something.
Yeah,
It's just
yeah.
a convenient source, right?
Yeah. So what are your goals moving forward in life? Obviously longevity, but do you guys have any personal fitness goals?
Try not to get old too fast, right? That's kind of,
Yeah. We've kind of, because we've
Yeah.
both competed quite a few times, and kind of that's like in my sense, anyways. It's behind me. I appreciate what I've done, and I like the experience I got out of it, but it's not something I want to continuously chase, right?
That's fair.
It's kind of like a part of my life that I did, and now just kind of moving on. But I still just like the dynamics of training, and I like how I feel when I exercise, and gives you that stress relief too.
Yeah.
For him, he's always kind of back and forth with the
yeah.
competing aspect, and it's not that you have to compete, but it's always nice to have that goal that you're chasing for that date,
Yeah.
or you're
I've always
each
like,
week.
even talking about achievable goals, I've always liked setting a date that I can't change. So even if it's a personal date or something I signed up for, like
Yeah,
if I say I'm going to do something by June the 10th, I'm going to hold myself to that June the 10th, right?
yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
So it's
If you've already signed up, bought your plane ticket, and your entry fee, you're going to be wearing your bikini on stage.
Yeah.
You can't change that date.
Yeah, so it's
Not easily.
it just gives you something to like work towards, because motivation kind of comes and goes, right?
Yes.
But like discipline will kind of keep you like adhering to that. Okay, every Saturday I said I was going to train legs.
Yeah,
Okay.
So it doesn't matter if it's at 6 in the morning or 7 at night. I'm gonna go get it done.
yeah, yeah.
So it's it's
So that's how you get through your motivation swells, is with following routine.
yeah.
Even if you're like, okay, this is here, we've got to do it.
Yeah, even like the eating, like, it's obviously not healthy to be like, excessively like lean all the time and training really hard. Like you're gonna run into some tendonitis issues and just like so you kind of gotta like know when to push maybe for a while and pull back a little bit and just kind of like weave. I call it like peaks and valleys, right?
Yeah.
So, but it's like that with eating too, right? You're not gonna like, find some things you like to eat, and maybe on harder workout days, just try to eat more rice, and maybe that's gonna prevent you from like overeating on something that you weren't even planning on eating anyways, right?
So is that a common thing? People working out really hard and then eating the crap that they're trying to.
Yeah. No,
I think
no.
I fall into that category.
Yeah,
no.
because usually it's a sense of they're not eating enough whole foods.
Right.
Like we always tell people, if you put a big bowl of rice and chicken and you can hardly finish it, you're probably not going to go for that extra something.
No.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
You're probably going to be okay.
Okay.
It's not saying you can never have it. It's just we usually, plan it a little bit more.
Yeah.
And often like, it doesn't matter how disciplined you are. Like often sugar can be a bit of a trigger food for lots of us, right? Like not like sugar in your coffee, but like if you start eating like let's say ice cream. Someone likes ice cream, they might start eating something else because the ice cream it's whereas maybe you feel better just I would say you have these 15 food groups that you eat every week, right?
Yeah.
You're not really restricting yourself, but you just have like, okay, I'm gonna make it like this next time, or have it like that, or it's
Keep it fresh.
yeah, and it's I think that's where the discipline comes in. You're able like, okay, I know what I'm gonna eat tomorrow, because it's just you're always going to have an extra bag of rice in your pantry or food on the go if you're in a rush, or if you're traveling. You might be. If I travel somewhere, a lot of times my first stop is the grocery store. Right?
Yeah.
So I might be okay.
If you haven't brought it already.
Yeah, if I need something, I'll go there, get what I need, and then then if I'm there for 5 days, 6 days, I'm not worried what I'm going to eat for lunch or dinner or whatnot. So no.
What's your favorite garbage food?
It's hard to beat a chocolate chip cookie, like a homemade chocolate chip cookie, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you make a lot of dessert.
Yeah, I do try not to, but if I do, I definitely like to bake and cook in that general term. So, but I've learned to make things like that we eat all the time taste good, and we enjoy them. Like we're not having boiled chicken breast.
Right.
We're
That's
not.
a thing. Boiled chicken
Yeah,
breast?
well, people,
Yeah.
they think, oh, I'm eating healthy. I have to eat bland, plain, boiled chicken breast, but
Didn't
that's
make
not
a
the
boiled
case.
chicken breast.
No, that's
Yeah,
not the
no,
case.
no.
No, we found lots of recipes over the years, and that we work, that we all like, and it's just a staple.
Yeah, no.
Well, thank you for coming out on this beautiful rainy day
Yeah,
for
yeah.
Sauna Talks.
Yeah, no,
It's
absolutely.
actually, this is the best sauna.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
so much for the cameras and stuff.
Yeah, most definitely. No.
Yeah, but the sauna's great. Yeah,
I'm hoping to get back in the gym next week. We'll see
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, man, yeah, no.
Yeah.
No.
And then
Yeah.
achieve that goal of a chin up.
Yeah, no.
yes,
Yeah, for sure.
yes,
Absolutely. Yeah,
totally.
yeah.
Give yourself a date. Yeah,
Yeah, no. No,
Oh,
it's
I'll set a date. I'll set it right now.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
April.
Yeah.
April? Should we do
Okay.
April?
Yeah.
Is that good?
Yeah.
Good enough time, do you think?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's lots of time.
All right. April. Chin up time.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks for tuning in to
Yeah, man.
Sauna Talks with Storm Carroll. And thank you guys for coming.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
Thank
Yeah, thanks for having us. Huh?
Yeah.
Sure, no. Yeah.
Let's go do a warm up.
Yeah.
Peace, be still, my darling. All is well, my darling. Your anxious heart may as well be stone. Oh, it weighs you down deeper than you know. Yeah, it weighs